doesn't say there. One is here, it says allergy, and the other one is at the apex, just on the inside of the ear.
What if you have, I was in a car accident with a head injury and all of my ear hairs were permanently destroyed.
Okay.
So everybody's advice is to move, but that's not an option. So
To move?
Yeah, to somewhere where it's high pressure instead of low pressure.
Okay.
So my acupuncturist is working with me on dampness
Mm-hmm.
and my 100 meetings point.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything on here that I could do for vestibular motion sickness, excessive dampness?
Yes.
It's just like basically in this weather, I feel like I'm motion sick 24/7.
Yes. So I would investigate this whole area, the lobe, and this ridge that's up on the top here. We have the forehead, the temple, and the occiput. And then we also have the ear, which is located, the external ear is located on this, where is that? Right here. So in the front here, which has a relationship with actually one of the meridian body points. So you're right in front of
It's the nerve that's attached to my cheekbone.
Mm-hmm. So pressing along there where it's tender, pressing along this ridge here, finding areas that are tender can help with the trauma to the head and also the meridians that are running through there. And then with dampness, in terms of Chinese medicine, we help to support digestion, to help promote that working with dampness. And so spleen and stomach relate to the earth elements. And so those are right, stomach is here and spleen is here. So you could press on points there. This whole area represents the head. So those are all areas to explore. So the jaw, if anything's radiating into the jaw, and then the brain, and then the neck are all feeding into the ear. Triple heater is a meridian called Sanjiao on this point. It's right here. That's a meridian that influences the ear as well as the gallbladder, and that they wrap around. Those are meridians that wrap around the ear.
I can't find that.
So Sanjiao means triple heater is right here. And then the gallbladder is up a little higher.
Oh, I see it's inside.
Yeah, it's inside there. So those are all places to explore. So if you would like to come on up, and we'll have to take a seat here.
Is it okay to film?
Is it okay for you to be on film?
Or do you want me to stop it?
We have, okay. Are you comfortable sharing anything you would like to focus it on?
An oncologist told me that my nerve in this ear is dead,
Okay.
but I refuse to believe that. I think it's
Okay.
getting better.
Okay. All right. So. The shiatsu.
What do you need?
I forgot about working through cloth.
Oh.
Tissues.
We have the napkins, that's it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. So I'll just work on the ear.
Okay.
So traditionally in shiatsu, we work through clothing. So that's my normal go-to. But so you just let me know if you feel any tenderness and if it's too much or if it's comfortable. And so if you want to practice along while I do this, I'm going to explain how I start off with my ear shiatsu by just doing that 90-degree pressure starting at the earlobe. So what I'm doing is just feeling for areas that might feel a little swollen or might seem to be responsive to pressure. And I start to think about what she's just told me that she's working with in terms of her ear. And I go into that ear point, which is that groove where the ear meets the cheekbone. And again, I'm just doing this 90-degree pressure into that curve, that ridge there. How's this feeling? Tender in some places?
Not overly tender.
Maybe really tender. And so now what I'll do is I'm going to go to the brain area. So it's the brain is represented by this ridge on the top of your ear. So I'm thinking about working from the bottom of the ear towards the top, but in my mind I'm thinking of how I'm affecting the head and then working down the spine.
There's a couple of places there where I guess I'm more sensitive there.
Right here. So maybe there's some neck tension
Probably.
on the left side. You may have that. So what I can do is through my training, I can get a sense of where these points that are feeling tender, and so I can modify and adjust my pressure. But here I'm working with the spine, thinking about relaxing the spine, and working up towards the top of the ear. And I'm keeping in mind that holographic principle that I'm affecting the whole body in this way. So now I'm going into the shoulder. You can see there's a shoulder point. There's a couple shoulder points. Is this all right?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
Is a pierced earring, is that doing like a constant, is that the way that she, or does it activate the point?
Well, what I've heard from my teachers is that the initial piercing is activating it, but because scar tissue is created, it's not like it's continually being activated. But there is this folklore that pirates who wear gold hoops in their ears have actually been doing that to help increase their vision. Because if you look on your little chart, if you look right where people's ears are pierced in the middle, you'll see there's a vision point there. And so, there is something about the properties of gold being tonifying, and that being in that point in the ear, that it could be tonifying the vision so that they could see off long distances onto the horizon for other pirate ships or ships to attack. So that's an interesting thing. So with the ear, we can apply pressure, we can use ear needles, we can put ear seeds on, we could also put gold pellets. That would be tonifying, that would be good for organ systems or sensory organs. We could also put magnets on. There are magnetic pellets that can be taped on the ears. There's also ear tacks. So they're little tiny tacks that get taped onto the ears. They look like the ear seeds, and I've used those quite a bit with women in labor. It's very effective. Ear needles won't stay in when somebody is laboring. So I find the ear is quite versatile in terms of its, you can apply a lot of different things to it. So.
How about these kids that are now putting these things in that, leave a hole this big with a...
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, that's been a tribal, rite of passage for many cultures. And so there is this, I would say, the relationship of the ear with the kidney organs and how that relates to ancestry. I would say is what you're seeing is sort of a cultural phenomenon that reflects this lineage that gets handed down, and the use of the ears as like an accessory to sort of displaying sort of one's role within the tribe. So, but I would say they have an effect.
Fashion that goes along with tattoo and body piercing.
Yeah.
You see around town. That's a huge.
Yeah.
And have they actually cut away tissue, or they're just stretched it?
I think they're just stretching it. Yeah. Are you familiar with anything
A little
like
bit.
that?
I know that the fast way to get it big, some people do take a punch of the
Oh.
skin out to expedite the.
You're welcome.